Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, My Ex-Wife Drops Back Into My Life After 6 Years. And guys, this story is about a young guy who decides to get married right when he gets out of college. He was about 22, 23 years old, both he and his girl. They were college sweethearts for 4 years, deeply in love and all that, or at least that's what he thought. And they get married, and he discovers that about a year or so later, that guess what? She was having an affair with one of her coworkers for over a year. Sneaking around, hiding it, and everything else you can imagine for over a year. He's heartbroken, and he ends up divorcing her. Okay? Good for him, right? And again, guys, how many times have I told you guys, if you're going to get married, if you're going to do it, I tell you not to do it, but if you're going to do it anyway, at least wait till you're like 30 years old or darn close to 30 years old. Because this guy was probably 22 or 23. He doesn't know shit about life. Neither does she. They're basically kids trying to play adults, and it doesn't work, okay? Sometimes it works because I know somebody's going to come on here and say, I know somebody that did, or it worked for me. Okay, but by and large, these stories seem to always happen with people that got married too young and didn't have enough life experience, okay? Anyhow, he ends it with her. He's heartbroken, but in time, he licks his wounds, and he picks himself up and moves on with his life. And this guy really does a great job. And he gets a great job for a major software company. His job lets him travel all over the world. He gets to see the world. He meets a lot of beautiful women along the way, hooks up with them, has fun. His life, he's on cloud nine. He's doing well for himself. And guess what? 6 years later, after the divorce, guess who he runs into? And at that point, you're going to see what goes down, what happened to her in the meantime, because karma strikes her for her actions. And guess what? What do you think she's going to want from him then? So I'm going to tell the story here. There's definitely lessons to be learned and get into it. So, the story starts. My ex and I met in college and were madly in love all 4 years in school. We got married after graduation in 2010. In 2013, I caught her in a year-plus affair with a coworker. I was crushed. She said they loved each other, they were soulmates, didn't mean to hurt anyone, blah, blah, blah. That sucks. 1 year into marriage, she's already having an affair. Does it sound like they're ready to do the whole marriage thing? I think not. Wait till you're 30 if you're going to do it. I tell you not to do it, but if you're going to do it, wait till you're 30. We divorced only 3 months later. I was crushed. The worst time of my life. I mourned for over a year. I heard they got married. One day, I decided I was tired of being sad, so I completely let go of her in my mind and got off my butt and truly moved on. It's totally understandable this guy was hurt and he was definitely mourning for a long time. If you're with somebody that long and they betray you, it's going to take a long time. But the guy said, okay, enough of this bullshit. Done feeling sorry for myself. Time to get my life back on track. And he does. He says, I'm a programmer by profession and decided to take a pre-sales solutions consulting gig with one of the biggest software companies on the planet. That job has been amazing. I've traveled the entire world, every continent, and all the major cities. Life has been a great adventure. I never did date seriously or remarry. I'm not opposed to casual dating and have dated beautiful women all over the globe. After my experience with marriage, I decided that wasn't my path and have been happy. Sometimes lonely, especially during the holidays, but overall happy. That's awesome. Talk about the life, right? Because the guy obviously was in when this all was going down, mid-20s, late 20s, making good money, traveling the world, seeing all the major cities. I love traveling. That is one of my passions in life. Talk about a great job. And along the way, he's meeting, hooking up with a lot of hot women. Talk about the life, right? I decided enough traveling for a while, so I switched roles, and I'm based in a major city in the United States. I'm sitting in a diner on a Saturday morning eating breakfast and reading the news, Facebook, Reddit, etc., and somebody says my name. Oh my God. The voice sounded like one of my women friends at work, so I looked up to say hi and my jaw dropped. It was my ex. Here I am, 2,000 plus miles away from our old hometown, haven't seen her in almost 6 years, and there she is. I was dumbstruck. All I could manage was, hi. I hate to say it, but she looked beautiful. She said I looked amazing. She asked if I was busy, and that she didn't want to bother me, but she loved to talk. I said, sure. We ended up talking for over 2 hours and continued for another couple of hours when we went for a walk in a close-by park. Now, I gotta say that a lot of guys, if they were married to a woman and they were in love for 4 years, at least the guy was, and found out that she had an affair and all that, most guys, including myself, would have pretty much said, hey, hope you're doing well, but please move on. I'm not going to sit there and talk and hang out and all that, but this guy's obviously different. This guy, obviously, his life is going so well that he figures, hey, screw it, you know? Or maybe he's a very forgiving type. Who knows? We were making small talk about mutual acquaintances, my stories of traveling the globe, everything but the elephant in the room. She finally asked me if I had gotten remarried at any point. I said no, once was enough. She seemed sad by that. Well, didn't she notice that there was no ring on his finger? We walked in silence for maybe a minute, and she said, I have to say that I'm so sorry for what I did to you. You didn't deserve it. It was incredibly shitty and has haunted me since it happened. You didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's the thing. He probably was a great guy to her and loving and supportive and all that. But he was probably, it's a very good, strong possibility that he was too nice and put her on a pedestal and treated her too great. It's unfortunate, but, you know, you do that, and oftentimes it's taken for granted. At best, it's taken for granted, let alone actually being, you're taken advantage of and actually disrespected for all that kindness and love you're giving. It's really twisted, but unfortunately, how many stories have I done? How many emails have I gone over that it's been that situation? But you're going to find out karma bit her in the ass. She said, you didn't do anything wrong. I said, you fell in love with someone else and married them. I couldn't stop you from doing that. I wanted you to be happy. This is the guy saying that, so he was a classic nice guy. Then I asked, are you happy? She laughed one of those joke laughs. Ha! She told me that the other man and her fought constantly, and he ended up cheating on her and leaving her 2 years into the marriage. Huh. How about that? So the guy, she left a really great guy that obviously was in love with her and supportive and all that for a guy that gave her a whole lot of drama, probably a bad boy type, and they were fighting all the time, and guess what? Eventually, he was cheating on her. Talk about karma biting her in the ass. And that ended her marriage. So under the age of 30, because I'm guessing she's about that age, she's had 2 divorces already. He said, I'm sorry it happened to you too. I know how bad that can hurt. She said she knew. That's when her heart was broken. All she could think was how she'd done the same thing to me and how that tortured her. She said she fell apart for almost a year, engaged in a very self-destructive behavior. That probably means drinking and riding the carousel if I'm a betting man. And then went to therapy to figure out why she's so screwed up. She said that it was extremely helpful, and several years ago, she finally grew up and holds herself accountable for her actions now. Well, let's just say hypothetically that's true. Well, that's a good thing that she's accounting for her actions. I mean, the old joke about women and accountability, you know, we all know about that. But okay, benefit of the doubt, the accountability. She had ended up moving to this city because she was an aunt there was an aunt that she loves living there, and after her second divorce before age 30, she needed to make big decisions and big changes in her life. The changes were noticeable. She's definitely more mature. I had to go and get ready for the evening with friends, so we said our goodbyes. We exchanged contact information and agreed to go have a coffee and talk more. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. You know, at best, in a situation like this, if this guy truly moved on, he was happy with his life, at the very least, he could be, if he wants to be the better person, because a lot of guys are like that, and obviously this guy's a nice guy, they could have chatted with her a little bit, accepted her apology, and parted ways. I would not have gotten the contact information, and certainly not agreed to hang out later on after what happened. You know, I wouldn't be holding on to anger or anything like that, but I wouldn't want to have anything to do with her after what happened. That's just me personally. That's who I am, and also after all the life experience I have and all the things I've learned, I would have cut it off right then and there. But this guy doesn't, and we're gonna see what happens next. He says, we have been doing that. We're both single. I guess there's no harm. I can tell she wants more from me. She wants me to want her back. She drops hints as big as the Pacific Ocean. I'm not dumb. I have to admit, she still has a certain something that just makes my heart skip a beat. Something I can't describe. Something I haven't found anyone else since her. I guess it's chemistry between us. Uh-oh. Look, I will admit this. Throughout life, you can meet people that you have incredible chemistry with. Okay, absolutely. It doesn't happen every day. But the thing is this, in spite of the great chemistry that in his mind or his gut he felt with her, she still had a 1-year affair. And yes, she was younger. Everybody can make mistakes, but still here. Okay? It'd be one thing if, let's just say they were married, and one night she was out and she was drinking and she hooked up with another dude and immediately told her husband about that. That'd be bad enough. Okay, don't get me wrong there. But she had a whole year-long affair of lying and sneaking around and doing all that to this guy. That's a whole other thing. And at the end of the day, the old thing about cheaters, once a cheater, always a cheater. People don't change. And already you can see this guy is starting to, in his mind, the possibilities are starting to open up that maybe we got a second chance. And it's a bad idea. He goes on, to be honest, I want to be more than friends. Slap. I want to hold her and kiss her. She wants that too, but as of yet, I've made 0 moves. What holds me back? Fear? I am afraid of getting hurt again. If she had been a casual girlfriend that dumped me, I would have shook it off and moved on quickly. She wasn't, though. She was my wife and the love of my life. I used to dream of her sometime coming back into my life. Well, here it is, and I'm scared shitless. You should be, dude, okay? And him saying that what's holding him back, fear. Fear is one part of it, sure, but the other part is the common sense saying, knowing what happened before and what she's capable of. And let's just say, hypothetically, she really, karma bit her in the ass and she got to feel exactly what she put this guy through. That doesn't, and let's just say in other areas she's matured as well. He gets back with her. What's going to happen when she starts getting bored? What's going to happen when things start getting boring, or they get into a fight, or he's not paying enough attention to her, or she starts to need attention and validation, whatever it happens to be? Is she going to handle it the right way and work it out with him and talk to him and all that? Or is she going to get that attention and validation someplace else? She could be fine for 10 years, but then all of a sudden she could be 40 years old, and there you go. So this guy is walking, he's definitely on dangerous thin ice with this gal. He goes on, we both grown a lot, and the past seems like 100 years ago. If she wasn't who she is, I'd already be head over heels in love. I struggle with, do I pursue love and her again, or do I leave the past in the past? It sounds cliche, but I just had to be with her. Of all the people I could have met, it had to be her. If this guy was contacting me for my advice, what I would tell him is I would say, look, dude, you got a great life. You're doing well for yourself. Move on, okay? You ran into her, whether she, the guy said that he's 2,000 miles away from their town when they grew up. I find it a little strange that he just happened to run into her, and it sounds like a damn movie. Who knows? She probably tracked him down somewhere. It's not that hard to do nowadays with the internet. And the stalker alert would be going on for me. But again, I would say, you know what? If you ran into her, fine. You said your piece. You parted ways in peace. And that's that. I would not get back with her, because what happened once, you really want it to happen again. Even if she's sorry, even if it seems like she's changed, just not a good idea, okay? Is it possible that some people in a rare, small percentage could actually change? Anything's possible, but by and large, the odds are it'll happen again. And can imagine that happening twice to the same guy if he would get back together with this girl? I would advise him not to do it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people, their emotions drive their decision making. So we're going to finish up with his update and how this story ends. He ends it saying, with an update, I've gotten so many requests for an update. I have one, but was hesitant to post because in this sub, I take a lot of grief. So he knows what he's about to write, he's going to get a lot of shit for. The update is, we got remarried over the Christmas holidays, and we're now pregnant. Slap. Not only to get back with her, he got married to her within a few months after running into her in that diner or whatever it was. and now she's carrying his baby, called insurance for her. Bad idea. She has grown a lot as a person. So have I. We're not kids anymore. We're in an adult relationship, and it's much better than before. Throw in the chemistry we've always had, and it's wonderful. I couldn't be happier. I do want to address the accusations that she tracked me down. She didn't. She had moved to our current city before I did. She really had moved on, went to therapy, and had grown a lot as a person. I just happened to be in that diner. We think it had to be fate or something, or some type of intervening force. That's the movies, dude. Neither of us are religious, but the astronomical odds of us running into each other, both single and in the same city near each other where we lived, are hard to ignore. Obviously, the universe has a plan for us. I wish you all good luck. My only advice is don't close your heart. You never know who'll stroll into your life. Well, it is what it is. He made his decision. Now he's got to live with it. So basically, I wish this guy all the best. I hope that he may be the small percentage of situations where it may actually work out in the second time. But the odds are darn good that it's not going to work out. That's not the decision. I sure as hell would never do that, and I would never advise any of you guys in a situation like that to ever do that. So, but I wish this guy the best, but the odds are that later on down the road, if things get to be where they were, which caused her to go out and have an affair in the first place when she was younger, happen again, what is she going to do? Is she then going to try to work it out with him, or at least have the decency to end it with him before having an affair, or is she going to go out and cheat and have an affair? We know how a lot of these stories go. And this guy was the classic nice guy. And when I say nice in the way women interpret a nice guy, the guy they see as pushover. But also you can see this guy is obviously a good guy, in life. Just not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to women. But wish him the best, but it's not the choice I would make for him. So, but anyway, guys, that'll be an interesting thing to share. It's just funny how girl screws up. She has an affair on the guy moves on, his life's going great, and then after her getting burned, she wants him back, right? So, but that stuff does happen. So, alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below, let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.